Everything's working. Is there anyone in the chat? I'm not working on art being cheap, I'm working on something a little more advanced than that. Why does it do that every time Hey, Sock Eater, how are you doing? So today we're animating something a little more advanced. We're going to be doing a little Mario animation here that I've been working on. I decided to take a break from Next Gen. Can I turn it up? Yes, I can. Let's see. Can you hear me? Is that better? I don't know if it's better. Let me know if that sounds better. So we're going to be doing some Source Filmmaker animation. It's a little more advanced than what I'm doing with Next Gen. It's an animation for a project I'm working on. Okay, good. So in this scene we have Bowser and Peach, and Mario is going to show up later. I started working on this like a week ago. It's one of the more complex ones. First, I'm not going to worry about all these enemies and the toads just yet because they don't really matter until later. I want to get Bowser, Peach, and Mario's first scenes done, and then what's gonna happen here is I'm gonna put a green screen here, and then I'm gonna do some masking in post, and then you're gonna be able to see the exterior of Peach's castle out here. And if you don't recognize this is Princess Peach's castle from Super Mario Galaxy, ripped straight from the game. It looks pretty sexy, huh? We're gonna worry about the lighting later, though. And this interior right here, this is a model I actually ripped from the models resource, and I ported it from Blender to Source Filmmaker, so that's why I can work it in here. I'm still trying to work out the lighting, but I've been learning some more lighting tutorials. But right now what I want to focus on is Bowser and Peach. So the first thing we have, Bowser walks in, and when I get into post-production, I'm going to add some like subtitles, because like in the games, at least nowadays, they have like the little subtitles like Bowser talking, Peach talking, and you don't like their mouths move, but they don't really say anything except for like a oh or a so like for instance, we got Bowser here, and I haven't finished every little touch. I want to get the basic animation stuff first before I work with his eyes, his lips, his hair, his tail. I want to get all of the important things out of the way first, and then it's those little touches like the hair moving that is gonna make it look even better in the final version. So we've got Bowser here. Animation's not perfectly clean, but I'm going to clean it up later because it's just like I want to get the basic poses down first. Now I did tweak this animation a little bit, but I might tweak like the fingers to give it more fluidity. The hair definitely, the tail, so that's not as stiff. Like that one, that animation right there, that one's a little more polished. But what I might do is I might move this collar. I don't know what the fuck you call that. I'm gonna probably rotate that upwards so it's fitting more, so that this hand isn't clipping through it. And then you have Peach here. And now Bowser, when I move his mouth, it's more like I've got an audio file down here. This is from Super Mario Odyssey. So I'm moving his mouth more like what this is doing. But Peach is a little bit different. Well, I'm actually having her speaking English, though nothing's coming out of her mouth except like one little soundbite. Kind of like in "Hey Jojo, what's up?" Kind of like in the Mario games. So like here she's saying "I don't think so, Bowser." Now she's not actually saying that in the audio. She's saying it, but she's saying it with her lips. But like here it's just kind of like in the games. But if you look at her lips, it's "I don't think so, Bowser." And then give it a second so people can read the text. And then and it's besides, you know how this usually ends. And Bowser, he's kind of getting angry, and the eyes are all fucked up here, but that's fine. I didn't really grow up with Nintendo. I had a Wii, but I only really played Super Mario Galaxy 2 halfway, Mario Kart Wii, and a couple of levels of Metroid Prime 3 before I lost the disc. You should play Super Mario Galaxy 1. That was the shit back in the day. Mario Kart Wii was pretty fun. I used to love Mario Kart back in the day. It was one of the first Mario games I ever played was Mario Kart Double Dash for the Nintendo GameCube. The GameCube was my entire childhood, and so was Mario, Bowser, and Peach. And I actually got to meet Princess Peach's voice actor one time at Halo Outpost Discovery. You know Jen Taylor, the voice of Cortana? Yeah, she voiced Princess Peach back in the 2000s. I think up to... Let me check. She's most known for Cortana, but she voiced Princess Peach, Toad, and Toadette in various Mario games from 1999 to 2006. And those were my prime Mario playing days. Yeah, 1999 to 2006. So that's pretty cool that Cortana and Princess Peach have the same voice actress because they do not sound the same. And even like Toad. So with animation, because I tweaked her gown. The gown is a bitch, but here's the good thing. I don't have to move her legs because the gown is always hiding them. That's kind of a plus with this model. Also, this model, I'm going to be honest, I think it's more attractive than like most of the other Princess Peach models in other games. Like, because it has teeth. Like, if you ever seen Princess Peach... If you ever seen like Princess Peach in older Mario games, when she opens her mouth, she does not have teeth. But here, it's like, especially when she's angry here, she's kind of gorgeous. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, see, she's got like the teeth make her look so much more attractive, and then the other ones, it's just like. And this Bowser model is from Super Mario Odyssey. And you got Mario here, who is from Odyssey. I've got two Mario models. Reason being, there you have one Mario model. This one has a rig on it, and that rig will allow me to make more realistic and fluid animations like walking or, high-fiving someone. And then this model right here, this one's going to be more for like actual like pop 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 fighting. Because if you've ever played like Super Smash Brothers, Mario's fists, they're more like they can like he kind of stretches his arm stretches out and his fists grow bigger, which I can do on models without rigs, but I can't do with models with rigs. Like with this, like I'm gonna use this model as an example. I can stretch out the arm very quickly so that has a more cartoony animation, and then I can add a scale control to the transform and make the hand bigger when his goes into the fist and the fist goes bigger, kind of like in Super Smash Brothers. But when I go to this one, this is the one with the rig. I might make another Bowser model that also doesn't have a rig. Watch what happens when I see. I can't stretch it all the way because the rig is preventing me from actually, And also when I add, I've never added a scale transform. But see, well, something happens, but it's weird. Actually, what if I add it? Because, I'll go to... There's a thing called hidden controls here, and it allows you to see other things. So maybe what I can do... Now that looks weird. It's like translucent. That's weird. Yeah, see it look... But I have no idea if I can add like a scale transform to this. Oh, I actually can. But that's beside the point. I still can't really make the arm go farther. So it's going to switch in between these two models. And then you got the Toads here made a bunch of guard Toads, but they're going to get their asses kicked. And then, yeah, I did a bit of animating for... Why is Bowser moving right there? Bowser, why are you moving? No, don't move. Oh wait, that's him going. I thought like the model turned in the wrong way or something. Yeah, I'm gonna need to edit that shoulder. Bowser, he's too thick. So we got the charging chucks. I started animating the Goomba and the charging chuck. I'm going to need to animate the Goomba because he should not be going that fast. Charging chuck's a little bit slower. Hey Beam, I'm here. Just curious, if Hasbro ever launched a streaming service like Disney Plus or HBO Max, do you think we'd finally get the canceled Transformers animated season 4? We do have a Hasbro streaming service. It's called Paramount Plus. How much time have you used SFM? I've used it for 40 hours currently. Let's check. 883.6 hours. I know that seems like a lot, but I've seen people with like 5,000 hours. And a lot of that has just mostly been me experimenting or working on next gen. I think I've maybe put like maybe 20 hours into just all this animation so far. And a lot of that has been me messing with lighting and stuff. Alright, so let's get into the finer details of animation. Because I learned a couple of things working on this, like, especially like with cloth physics. Because if you've used SFM, you know that like capes and stuff, there's no way to actually do a ragdoll animation in this. But what I've figured out, I'll get to your question, next question. So what I figured out here, like when I'm moving this skirt here, because the skirt, if I just move it normally, it just does this. But we want it to look more fluid. And another thing you have to remember, animation has a lot of cheating. Give me a second here. I need to fix this skirt. It gets too stiff. It's a lot of... Okay, so you see this. So this is called... What was this? Okay, so this is called spline tangents. But really what it should be called is just more fluid moving. What this does is like when you move your arm and you move it down, it's kind of like, watch. Like when I move my arm down here, let's see, where's my... Like when I move my arm down here, I'm going to move it up and then it goes... Yeah, it has that little going back and forth movement when you bring your arm down. And now you could animate this. You could animate this in Source Filmmaker, and you could use this, the linear tangents, to make it go from place to place. But if you want to save time, you could use... Now, this doesn't always work. Sometimes it makes the thing go all crazy. What's this animation? Okay, so I'm gonna catch up on things here. Which Autobot and Decepticon do you want to see most in the upcoming Transformers Rise of Beasts or future Transformers movie? I'm not a fan of Beast Wars. I'm going to be honest. If you like Beast Wars, that's fine. But I tried the show, and I guess for a time the graphics were amazing. But nowadays, I got Transformers Prime spoiled me, so it's just like I couldn't get into Beast Wars, and the voice acting in some cases was just atrocious. David Kaye and Gary Chalk are the best voice actors in it, I think. Cheetor annoys the fuck out of me. If there's one character I do not want to see, it's Cheetor. I don't like him. Let's see. In the future Transformers movies, I want to see a more accurate Soundwave and Shockwave. If it's a character that we haven't seen yet, I want to see Bruticus. That's my favorite combiner. If they bring in Bruticus, I would be like, yes. Oh, Vangasm. What's this animation for? Looks pretty cool so far. It's a sort of a VFX. It's kind of a test animation because it's like I don't want to just do Arby the Chief forever. So I've been working on sort of an animation that's gonna sort of say this is kind of like what to expect from this series that I'm working on. I'm working on making a series. It's likely going to be on Blender more than SFM, but I'm more used to SFM. I'm still learning Blender, but when we get to like the main show, it'll likely be in Blender. But this is sort of a prequel to a show I'm working on. I haven't really titled it yet. There's a couple of titles I'm working on. Maybe like, fuck, I don't know. I was thinking of like All Stars, but that sounds stupid considering the characters that are in it. But it's sort of like it's kind of like in this Super Smash Brothers style universe. That's it's got all these it's like kind of an omniverse, an amalgamation of all these video game characters that are sort of living in this omniverse. You got like the Mushroom Kingdom, Mario, you've got Captain Falcon over in Mute City, you even got Master Chief in Halo, you got Tracer, Sombra, Widowmaker, Genji, Reaper from Overwatch, you got the guys in Outworld from Mortal Kombat, you got Tifa in Seventh Heaven in the Final Fantasy area. But what it's about this is so what happens is all these Super Smash Brothers characters, because in this world they're known as the Super Smash Brothers, kind of like the Avengers in a way. They're all getting captured by characters that are not from their games. Like in this case, you want to know who captures Mario? You recognize this bad boy, huh? This is this is one of the villains that would show up, and yeah, I've got the Grunt and Prometheans here. The outside shot it's gonna be a lot different from the inside shot, because outside is gonna have like a bunch. It's gonna have like a Covenant carrier and stuff. But like all these different villains, they're not supposed to be in these other games, but they are, which prompts Solid Snake to pull Master Chief out of his game and bring together like this team of heroes from different video games, or team of protagonists from different video games, to go and figure out what happened to the Super Smash Brothers and where these guys are taking them. And the team so far that I've constructed is Master Chief, Lara Croft, Kratos from God of War, Tracer from Overwatch, and the Doomslayer. So this is kind of just like a prequel sort of leading up to that. And like you got some of the villains, like you got Bowser here, you got the Didact, Wesker from Resident Evil, Vladimir Makarov. Let's see, there was a few others, and I think I told someone who I was thinking of. Let me bring it up. So there was... Okay, so Wesker has his own allies, namely the Didact, Sombra, Ganondorf, Bowser Jr., Ridley, possibly Nemesis, Nightmarion from Five Nights at Freddy's, and Dracula from Castlevania. I was considering Sephiroth, but I think he's way too overpowered. So maybe he would be like a season 2 thing where he like fights Revan or something from Knights of the Old Republic. Do you think it'd be appropriate if Peter, the boy Chief saved from Colin, showed up to Claire's funeral for Arbiter-in-Chief in Season 8? Would he even know who they are? Like, I don't know if he would know who they are, honestly. I personally would see. I've made, this is not a secret. I'm not that. With Season 8, I don't actually I kind of don't give a shit, honestly. And the reason for that is just like, it's too long. It's like, I've seen these villains before. And it's just like, okay, can we get the plot moving? I know John works like super hard on it, and I know that from experience because I've worked on my own. But like, dear Lord, like, just get to the fucking point. Like, he spend like, for some jokes he spends so long on like a joke. Like, he just spends so long on this one tiny thing. Like with the racist thing, I thought it was funny at first until it went on for like, what, 10 minutes or something? I don't know. But it probably went on for 10. I'm exaggerating, but it probably went on for 10 minutes because John likes his long, drawn-out shots, which is fine. I don't fucking know. Anyway, let's get back into it. So all of these, so you have all these keyframes here. And see, while Bowser is walking up and he stops, I saw flashbacks from the 2001 Odyssey episodes. I have PTSD from the Odyssey episodes. I'm kidding. The Odyssey episodes weren't bad. The problem was they should have been their own season. Because like the later part of season 8 feels completely different. Did Speed Zone get his name from any fictional characters we should be aware of? No, he did not. He actually did not. He was, that was a completely original name on my part that I'm proud of. What's the biggest piece of advice to give to a beginner animator? Everything's gonna look like shit at first, so don't worry about that. But you have to remember. Okay, so the best advice I can give to a beginner animator is that when you're, when you're moving like an arm from one place to another, you have to remember that you can still tweak things in between. Don't if it looks bad, don't worry. You have plenty of chances to fix it later. Just get what you need. Get the poses that you need out of the way first, and then worry about the finer details. Um, that'd be my advice there. But yeah, Speed Zone. That was that. Originally, he actually. Okay, so originally with Speed Zone in particular, he wasn't originally called Speed Zone. He was called Quicksilver, like the Marvel character. And then I decided, and I was like, Quicksilver. Okay, he's a more of a hero character. He does. It's like it's not really that much. That name is not really intimidating. It doesn't really have that much of a, oh, this guy could be a bad guy vibe. Speed Zone isn't really a bad guy, but it's more. I feel like it's a little technically it's cooler than Quicksilver. Even though a Speed Zone you would go slower in. Um, and I think what happened was I was listening to a song called Danger Zone. You guys heard of that song, y'all? If y'all haven't heard that song, you're too young. But I was listening to Danger Zone, and it's like right into the danger zone. Then I'm thinking Danger Zone is going like going right into there, and then adding in a bit of speed. You got Speed Zone. Speed Zone is an actual thing. I've got a name for Speed Zone, and so that's how the name Speed Zone came out. Deathlock and Brainiac were always their names. Lockdown was also one of the earlier characters. Deathlock and Speed Zone didn't come until the second iteration of the script. There's like 3 iterations. The first one was I don't know if y'all heard of this show called The Blacklist. Cause it's a show. It's like a show where this guy played by James Spader. He helps the FBI find all these different criminals, and because he's a criminal, he's like the most wanted man in the world, and he helps the FBI find all these criminals. And I was thinking of doing something similar to that called the Shit List, but it was like a bunch of different hackers. But then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run out of ideas here really quick. Let's keep it simple. A couple of hackers. You got the main hacker and Arbiter in Chief are working with a team to stop them. Very, very simple. That's another thing. If you're like working on animation and you need like a good story, start off as simple as you can. Like it doesn't have to be like one character, one good guy, one bad guy. They want to kill each other. Like you can kind of go crazy, but don't overdo it. Like don't make it feel like it's don't make it feel like you're in the middle of a story. Have a beginning, middle, end. Details, facts, plots. Tell it. What made you decide to bring Clyde and Kylie back for next gen? Clyde was something that was always going to show up. Because with season 1 of Next Gen, it's sort of kind of what I wanted from season 6 that I did not get. What did we not get from season 6? We didn't get an arc with Duncan, for one, that was we didn't get an arc from Duncan that had him redeeming himself from being a bad guy. And with Clyde, I mean, he did technically get his badass scene in the season finale, but it wasn't really cool per se. It was just, oh, he's shooting at them with a sniper and they're behind a warthog. So I wanted to make Clyde the threatening personality that we felt he was. And then Kylie, that was something I added later because I felt like Clyde wasn't gonna, like, because all these characters in the hacker removal squad, they, like, if you put them all together, they're really OP. Clyde's not going to be able to go up against them by himself, even with his invincibility hack, because one of them can just get behind him and assassinate him. So I had to bring in another character that, you know, like, but I decided Kylie because Adam already had his thing, and it just, I don't know, it just felt natural to me to bring Kylie back, which ironically I guess John did too. But Kylie's reason for being there is actually not what you probably think it is. she's there for a very different reason than she makes it out to be, at least from what I've had her say so far. Um, but with Clyde, I just wanted a more badass and intimidating version, and I felt like he'd be super pissed off, so he'd come back. Um, hey, Lady Chan, how are you doing? Speaking of Autumn, uh, was Autumn inspired in any way by RC and Transformers Prime? With how C closed herself off from everyone after losing her partner Tailgate? No, actually. She was inspired by Agent Texas from Red vs. Blue. And originally she was just a cold person, just I don't give a fuck about anything. And then I'm like, no, let's give her more of a backstory. So because I guess it's kind of a cliche that some teams that it's like they have a thing that, oh no, you can't tell this person because if they do, they're going to turn against you. And I'm like, oh well, let's make it Eugene, because that also ties in with Arbiter always hallucinating Eugene, because he keeps seeing her, and so he keeps regretting what happened with Eugene. And in the next episode of Next Gen, he's gonna sort of come to terms with what happened to Eugene. He's gonna sort of face like his feelings there. He's gonna have to like admit that maybe it wasn't totally his fault, and that it was, Are Kylie, Speed Zone, and Deathlock even aware of Jason's murder? And if so, do any of them feel any remorse over it? I don't know if Speed Zone cares. I don't know if Speed Zone knows. Honestly, he probably would be too drunk to even give a shit. Deathlock and Kylie are definitely aware, because they were in the room when Clyde and Brainiac told Deathlock, when Clyde and Brainiac told Lockdown that they killed Jason. So they are aware of it. Deathlock, he's a mercenary. He does not give a shit unless it affects his pay. If it like, and then with Kylie, I'm gonna leave that ambiguous. I assume, but I'll say, actually no, I have not decided yet. It is entirely possible that she might feel some regret over it, but she can't really do anything because you have Brainiac here, and like this, like Brainiac is not like Chaos Theosis. He's not like Trent. He's not like Eugene, Colin, or Tyler. He's not even like he's not even like Adam from the latest season. He's a lot scarier than Adam. One of the things about this is information. That's one of the things. It's actually kind of a fear I have. Like how much can hackers know about you? That's Brainiac's strongest ability, in my opinion, is just his knowledge. Like, there's not much that he doesn't know. So, y'all ever had that sort of fear where maybe a hacker is secretly watching every move you're doing? Because that I feel like that is something very relevant to today, because that like people can hack into webcams and stuff now, and they can record your every move. Brainiac goes into the online multiplayer network, and he takes everyone's game histories and he uses it against them. So, and by that logic, he can also bring up Kylie's past. He can bring up Clyde's past. He likely knows who Clyde actually is behind the screen, if his name is even Clyde. Like, there's not much he does not know. And I think that's kind of what makes him scarier than Adam, at least in season 8, is just his knowledge, his mind. He knows so much. So that it is kind of scary when you think about it. Any idea of what's become of Greg since he left in RB in the Chief season 7? Honestly, I don't know. Are you asking what if? Are you asking about him in season 8, or are you talking about him in next gen? Um, but still, I've got there. I don't know if I should say anything. um, I think I've only told a few people about it. Greg in next gen. I'm not good, but there's only like a few people who know what came of him. That's all I'm gonna say. But of course, if I was to put Greg in next gen, I would have to find the spider. The one that John used. And you know how impossible that is to find. You'd have to find it on eBay for like $5, maybe. But yeah, like you just have to find it by random chance, by luck, after typing in the words giant brown spider, and then find someone who named it Gaint Brown Spider. And then all of a sudden you find it, and you pay to someone in like the United Kingdom to find a spider. And then when you get it, you realize, oh, it's actually the right one. It's not just a random brown plastic spider. That wasn't the same one that was used in RVG. Wow, that was yeah. I'm not gonna say any more about Greg. In your honest opinion, should John have ended R being the chief with season 6? Yes, for because it's like, okay, you have a good ending. Just you can leave it off there. You can work on other things. Um, yeah. So let's continue on here. So we've got Peach walking up, Bowser talking. So let's work on Bowser's feet, because I feel like the feet are gonna be one of the harder ones. So while he's moving, we're more focused on Peach. Remember, you only have to worry about what is on the screen in front of you more than you have to worry about what's going on behind the screen. So while we're looking at Peach, Bowser's getting in position for his next. So where did I put Bowser? That's another piece of advice. Actually, like, organize your stuff. Don't do it like me. So Bowser gets here while we're focused on Peach. Oh, Pizza's here. I'll be right back. I've got pizza here. I'm going to get a tray so I can answer any questions. I will be right back. I'm just getting myself a tray. I'll be right back still. So I don't mess up the keyboard. I don't want to get food on the keyboard. Alright, I've got my pizza, so let's take a break from anime for a second and answer the chat. So, why buy a spider when you can catch a spider? Because I'm afraid of actual spiders. Yeah. Who's your most hated character from R being the Chief so far? I'll have to think about that for a second. Like, who do I find most annoying? Or who do I think is just the most hated? Like, can it be a character that you love to hate, or can it be or just a character that I do not want to see anymore? I'm trying to think of who that would be. I'm thinking maybe it would be does that have to be like a recurring character, or like just it could be like literally anyone? Can it be from R being the Chief in LA? Actually, I don't even care about any of the characters in LA that, would have. I had to pick, I'm going to say Adam. The season 8 Adam, not the season 6 one. I like the season 6 one as a villain. I don't like this new one because it's not Adam. So if I had to say my most hated character, it's Adam. Adam in season 8 just because he exists. But if I have to pick like a specific one out of like all of our being the Chief in general, it's probably like a tie between Todd and Travis just because they don't do anything. Except be useless. I'll be right back and get a napkin real quick. Do you think Junkie XL should score a Transformers movie? He scored 300. Rise of an Empire, Mad Max, Zack Snyder's Justice League. I still think that Transformers should be scored by Steve Jablonsky. Here's the thing. I don't dislike Junkie XL. He's done some good soundtracks. It's just nothing that's really memorable. Except maybe one. And that was Wonder Woman's theme from wait, did he do Batman vs Superman, or was that someone else? Because I only recognize Wonder Woman's theme if that was the one that he did. I thought season 8 Adam was a totally different character at first. Feels so jarring considering that the time skip wasn't that long. He also it doesn't fit Adam as a character. I feel like it would have been better if it was like Clyde, or even like the character works as someone who's completely new. And if you change Kylie into, if you take away Kylie's relationship with him and turn Adam into a completely new character, someone completely different, it works a little bit better. Saddest death from Transformers Prime, in your opinion? Probably Optimus at the end. I'm not gonna count what's his face. I'm not gonna count Robots in Disguise as canon. But just like Peter Cullen's last words in Transformers Prime, like it was don't lament my absence or something. But it actually made me tear up because I'm like, that's what I'm gonna think of when he actually dies, because you know he's getting up in age. Thoughts on the shows from the Unicron trilogy? That's the Transformers I grew up on. Armada. I actually like Armada. I always want the Transformers on the screen. I hate the humans in it, except for Alexis. It's like all the human characters in it are like absolutely annoying. Except for Alexis. She's like the only one there that's actually a decent character with a good voice actress. It's the same in the other two shows too. Kicker Jones is probably the worst character ever in Transformers history. And yes, that's including the twins from Revenge of the Fallen. And they're pretty bad. Because here's the thing about the twins. They don't overstay their welcome. I mean, they kind of do, but at least they're not in... At least they don't talk in the third movie. Kicker Jones, you're stuck with him for the entirety of Cybertron. And he's always... You know, he sounds like Brandon from Next Gen, except whinier. Joe at least doesn't make Brandon sound whiny, but he's just always like, Ironhide! Ironhide, please don't do this. We need to get to Alpha Q. God, I hate Kicker. And in that show, fuck Kicker. Worst character in Transformers history is Kicker Jones. I don't like the guy. Carlos and Rad, and I forgot who those are. Those are two dudes from Armada that weren't Carlos or Rad. They're the most. They're probably like second most annoying. Because one of them is just like obnoxious, and the other one's just always hungry and whining. And it's just, why is it like only the female characters in the Unicron trilogy are actually good? Cybertron has a pretty ballin' theme. Autobots, Decepticons, dun, 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 dun. With Energon, it gets a lot of crap, but I did like one thing a lot in Energon. That was Shock Blast. I wish they had done more with him. By the way, Shockwave is one of my favorite Transformers characters. Do you wish Skids and Mudflap's death from the Dark and Moon comic and novel had been kept in the movie? You know what I wish had been kept in the movie? That badass personality that Shockwave has in the comics. I can remember Galloway from Revenge of the Fallen. You know, that twat that was like, get that junk out of here. You know, the guy with the glasses. In the Dark of the Moon prequel comic, Shockwave, he just rams into this federal facility, and he's like, "Who's in charge here?" And then Galloway's like, "I am Director Galloway of Sector 7, and I control all Nest operations." And then he gets immediately incinerated by Shockwave, and Shockwave's just like, "I'll ask again, who's in charge here?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, he's such a savage, and he killed one of the worst characters ever." And I wish that was in the movie. I don't even remember the comic, honestly. I don't know what happened to him in the comic. If I had to pick which of the Unicron trilogy was the best, I'd probably have to say Armada. Even though it does not want to stop, like, ever. Who do you think would win if Chaos Theosis fought Eugene's clan? It depends on which Chaos Theosis you're talking about. Honestly, I'd probably say Eugene's clan because they have more skilled players. Duncan is MLG, but he doesn't really John really didn't show him as being very good. I think he might have only been in like I think you can have the title of MLG and still be a shitty player. Just because you're like on a team with actual good people who are carrying you. Besides, MLG players don't use rocket and fuel rod. Which season of RBG do you think has the best character development? I think season 6. Personally. Because, at least with Arbiter and Chief, they learn to work together better in that season, I felt. Season 7 was just John giving him crap for no reason other than because he was depressed. Actually, no, I take that back. Season 7 does. Because there's a lot more that's revealed about Chief. And Arbiter goes through a lot of things too in that season. But I'm biased towards season 6 because I felt like it had the best pacing, had the best story. I don't know, and I don't care. I'm gonna bring my dishes up to the sink real quick. I'll be right back. Don't answer that question more in depth. Give me a bit of time to think about that. Alright, so do you think the Arbiter in Chief will die at the end of Season 8 once their purpose of stopping Adam is done? I mean, John and the Thing is dead. How are they going to survive? What are they... A lot of the season that I think John does for shock value. The answer is I don't know, but I think it would be cheap if he did kill him off. So anyways, let's start working on making Bowser walk here. So as you can see, I already started the animation, but I want to actually take a step. And here's something clever I did here. Because I used the, who is the most good character? Greg. That's not even a contest. So what I did here was I had Bowser move forward. Okay, where's the foot? Okay, so it is... Okay, so what we're gonna do here, we're gonna have Bowser's foot lift up here. We're gonna go straight in the middle here. Have Bowser's foot lift up. Who have you always wanted to meet at most at a convention? Like a comic convention? It's a tough one. Kevin Conroy, you know, Batman. I've always wanted to meet him. Another one would be James Spader. I love his voice, and I love Ultron. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Bowser's foot step off here, and what we're also going to do with this foot is we're going to bring it up. We're going to rotate, keep it rotated. Or for Cybertron's show so far. I find him boring, and the only character I actually care about is Megatron because his voice actor worked for me one time. Okay, so this is going to get a little bit tricky because the root transform is moving. We want this foot to be sliding on the ground. So we're going to move this back a bit. Move this down. He was Deathstroke, Megatron, and Green Goblin in the Next Gen movie. Favorite Mortal Kombat character? Johnny Cage, not even a contest. Let that Bowser do. Maybe this. Probably the Last Night one, even though it was a crap movie, the Megatron in it looks kind of cool. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about that first one since we're mostly gonna be focusing on his upper body. But when you're doing, at least when you're animating the legs, you want to make sure that there's always something in the middle. You don't want to try to move it back too far most of the time. And with this one, favorite character from Transformers Animated, Shockwave. Not even a contest. I know I can't catch you, but I can trap you. Dude, how he killed Blur, that was brutal. That's another thing you have to remember. Alright, let's do this part. So, what I'm doing here is I'm adding in pelvis bones to each footstep that he makes. Because I want SFM to remember, okay, this is when he lands his foot. I'd honestly probably say Brainiac. Ultron's more powerful, but Ultron does what he does because he feels like there's no other way. Brainiac just wants to rule everything. Ultron doesn't take any pleasure in what he does. You ever been able to go on Universal's Transformers to ride? Yes, I absolutely loved it. So what I'm doing here is I'm having given Bowser a bit of height with the pelvis. Sorry if I don't answer really quickly. I'm focusing. I'm also going to move the arms and all that stuff. I think Eugene feels any guilt over Brody almost killing himself by swigging out his pills? Probably not, because at that end, he was just done with everything. Alright, let's put a spline here. Now see, he has a little more weight when he moves. And now we're gonna copy these keys. Actually, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to animate these feet, and then I'm going to continue animating the keyframes. When we get over here, this is going to be a problem, but I'm not going to get to that just yet. And you consider to be more evil villain, the more evil villains in Bayformer, Sentinel, Primer, Lockdown. I don't think Sentinel was a completely bad person. I just think he was misguided. Lockdown's just a mercenary. The Fallen was probably the most evil one, even though he did jack shit. I kind of want to see it just to see how bad it is, if anything. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm going to just start copying this foot bone right here so that SFM knows, okay, this is where it's going to be flat. And I'm going to work out the smoothing that animation. Favorite moment from the 2003 Clone Wars micro series, if you've seen it. It's that scene where Grievous is taking on all those Jedi. That was like the best Grievous fight I have ever seen, and I'm so mad that they didn't continue that in the animated 3D Clone Wars. That was one thing I thought they screwed up. Any thoughts on Zack Snyder's Justice League? If you've seen it, yes, I have seen it. I think it is better than the original, but that's honestly not saying much. Is it a good movie? Eh. I think as a film, it is passable. I do not think it is as good as everyone is making it out to be. If you enjoy it, that's fine, but I think some people are making a big deal over it than it needs to be. It is not the greatest superhero movie ever of all time. There's still a ton I do not like about it. Namely that Wonder Woman's kind of a psychopath in it. Give me a second here to figure this thing out with the... Okay. I need to edit the pelvis bones. Just need to get this. I'm also going to need to have him go down here, maybe. Yeah, apparently who's the most evil member of Brainiac's team? I don't know if I would call any of them like. I'd probably say Brainiac, but out of like the ones under him, I don't know if I would consider any of them inherently evil. Maybe Clyde. Um, I guess it depends on what you define as evil. Darkest moment? Probably that scene in Blackout when the power went out. I've only seen like the first movie, so I guess the turtle from Kung Fu Panda. That was a I like his character. He was wholesome. I forgot his name, but it was the turtle. do you think? Do you have any advice when it comes to killing off characters in any story I tell? Oh, wait. Most savage line from Arbiter and Next Gen so far, in your opinion? That's the offer, Brokeback Mountain. Take it or leave it. Do you have any advice when it comes to killing off of characters in any story I tell? Depends on the character. If it's a main character, like, have it be meaningful. Don't do it because you want to. Do it because it serves the purpose of the story. It shouldn't be for shock value, and you like, especially if it's a main character who's been around for a while at least. I don't know. It depends on the scene. Just make it like have it have impact. That was something that was sorely lacking in Batman vs Superman for me. Hence why I did not like that. Hence why I did not like that movie. It's Superman. You don't do that to one of your biggest characters. You don't just kill him off like. Absolutely, I want to see Mark Hamill as Starscream. Can you imagine that? Lord Megatron, here we are at the root of our base. I mean, can you imagine that? Okay, so let's get this legs done. Okay, pelvis. Okay, it's too exaggerated. I don't want it to be too exaggerated. Alright, let's mess with the spine bone then. Spine bone's another one that might help you out a bit. Imagine sucking down that last breath, knowing I'll be the new leader of the Decepticons. Favorite monster from the Godzilla movies, if you're into them? Mechagodzilla, because I'm a robot fan. Who would you personally choose to play Poison Ivy if she appeared in the DC Extended Universe? Have to be a redhead or someone who can play a redhead. ScarJo's too cliche, so someone could do a good seductive one. I want to say Jessica Chastain. I don't know. I don't care about much space Transformers, honestly. It's starting to look a little better. Okay, let's mess with the spine. What happens if I do this? Who's your favorite voice actor for Megatron besides Frank Welker? Yes. That's David K. My terrible David K. impression. But yeah, David K. probably. Hey, Spartan Best. Let's get the arms now. I feel like that help us better get an idea of what we're looking for here. Give me a second, I'll answer the questions. Let's move this hand back. Which member of Eugene's clan do you think was defeated in the most satisfying way? Colin, probably. Go send him to jail. Tyler was also pretty good because he was attacked by his dog, and animal abusers deserve that. Some people should just not have dogs, and Tyler's one of them. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I try to keep it close to what John would say, but also if it's like something that John hasn't really covered before in other Hypermill episodes, I just answer it as myself. Very much depends. Guess that's 30 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes it likes to do this, and I do not like Favorite actor to play Batman in live action so far? Adam West. That was my childhood. Favorite fight scene from Transformers Prime? I have no idea. Best Star Wars game ever, in your opinion? Probably the original Battlefront 2. Do you think Darkseid was portrayed well in the Snyder Cut, and do you want to see more of that version of him? I don't know if I do, honestly. Reason being, it's just like I don't know. It's like how does he forget that? And they explained this in an interview, but I'm just like, why didn't you explain it in the movie? Why didn't you say he used to be known as a guy named Uxas, and then he forgot that, like, he was reborn, and he forgot that Earth was the planet that got away with the anti-life equation. I don't know. It's, everyone's just like, oh my god, Darkseid's better than Thanos. I'm just like, no, he's not. I mean, he's a little more fleshed out than Thanos was in his first appearance, but that's because Thanos was a teaser. I think he's going too fast here. I'm gonna delete these keys for now. Let me mess with these feet first, and then I'll get to your question. Is sometimes you gotta. Favorite female from the MCU? Probably Scarlet Witch. I like the whole season. I don't have any one favorite episode. Yeah, this is looking much better. Do you think we'll ever see sequels to Justice League with Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill playing Batman and Superman again? I don't know and honestly, I wouldn't care either. I haven't been the biggest fan of Zack Snyder's verse. You know who I really do like though is the CW Superman. I feel like he's what Man of Steel Superman should have been because he knows how to be both kind of goofy but also really good at being serious at the same time. What do you think has been the worst season of R being achieved? The current one. It used to be season 7 for me, but I don't like the latest season. Probably Carter, just because he went out like a badass. Most wasted Bayformers character, in your opinion, was a tie between Shockwave and Soundwave. Oh no, wait. Even worse, Onslaught from the last night. That was such a waste. Batman with prep time or no? Probably Batman because he's faced Bane before, so. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good. I don't know. Maybe I have no idea. It's raining. Who do you think have been the toughest Arbiter-in-Chief enemies in John's canon so far? Does that include Season 8? I'm not saying it's the Season 8 villains, but... Probably Eugene's clan, because they were actually competent. The hell? I'm not talking to you. Cad Bane, not a competition at all. What was that about? I love The Mandalorian. That was a good show. And yeah, I like how Cad Bane was in the new Clone Wars episode. Loki has been good so far. Favorite moment from our being the Chief Endgame. You know what I'm talking about. Scott with all the things, cigarettes. Let me get some water real quick. Favorite moment from season 6. When Adam gets sent to juvie, probably. Get some water real quick. Oh, I've already been a chief questions, huh? Probably not. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a huge fan of techno dicks. Right. here's where it gets interesting. Because we got the stairs here. This is gonna get tricky.
Oh, hello. Let's go. Tego. Hello. Mario. Let's go. Hello. Hello. Let's go. Let's go. Mario. Let's go.
I'm just gonna